Get ready for the dictation. Start. Differences, big or small, can always be noticed even within a national group, however closely bound together it may be. The essential unity of that group becomes apparent when it is compared to another national group, though often the differences between two adjoining groups fade out or intermingle near the frontiers, and modern developments are tending to produce a certain uniformity everywhere. In ancient and medieval times, the idea of the modern nation was non existent, and feudal, religious, racial, or cultural bonds had more importance. Yet, I think that almost any time in recorded history, an Indian could have felt as a stranger in countries which had partly adopted his culture or religion. Those who professed a religion of non Indian origin and coming to India settled down there became distinctively Indian in the course of a few generations, such as Christians, Jews, Parsis, Muslims. Indian converts to some of these religions never ceased to be Indians in spite of a change of faith. All these were looked upon in other countries as Indians and foreigners, even though there might have been a community of faith between them. Today, when the concept of nationalism has developed much more, Indians in foreign countries inevitably form a national group and hang together for various purposes in spite of their internal differences. An Indian Christian is looked upon as an Indian wherever he may go. An Indian Muslim is considered an Indian in Turkey or Arabia or Iran or any other country where Islam is the dominant religion. All of us, I suppose, have varying pictures of any native land, and no two persons will think exactly alike. When I think of India, I think of many things, of broad fields dotted with innumerable small villages, of towns and cities I have visited, of the magic of the rainy season which pour life into the dry, parched up land and converts it suddenly into a glistening expanse of beauty and greenery, of great rivers and flowing water, of the Khyber Pass in all its bleak surroundings, of the southern tip of India, of people individually and in the mass, and above all of the Himalayas, snow capped, or some mountain valley in Kashmir in the spring, covered with new flowers and with a brook bubbling and gurgling through it. We make and preserve the pictures of our choice, and so I have chosen this mountain background rather than the more normal picture of a hot subtropical country. Both pictures would be correct, for India stretches from the tropics right up to the temperate regions, from near the equator to the cold heart of Asia. Stop.